fam, I'm here with another one. Now, this was another one I picked up at Dollar General. It's an older set, but you know what? Been really wanting to check this one out, mainly because I really want to get that Spider-Man right there. So let's take it to the table. What do you say? All right, fam. So here we go. We've got ourselves another Lego Marvel set. Now, we did the Spider-Man versus Ghost Rider, which I thought was a really awesome set. That one came in right at $10. This one runs about 15. This is an older set actually, and it's one of those I really wanted that Miles Morales, and I couldn't find them anywhere. I could find the minifigs here and there, but finding this set on its own, this is the first time I'd seen it out in public, and the box was already slightly open. So I opened up the rest, kind of opened it up, checked it out, and it seems like everything is there. So I'm gonna kind of pray that everything is there. I looked up another review while I was in store, and it was a one of those where it was like, hey, they had two bags. I've got two bags, booklet, and of course our plastic webbing, which is like what we have with the Spider-Man versus Ghost Rider. But this is the Venom Mech armor versus Miles Morales. It's 76276. Got Venom, Miles. At this point, I already have a Venom and a Spider-Man from a polybag set, but that meant I also had a Spider-Man with the Ghost Rider set, same ones. I have a Miles Morales in the CMF or the custom minifig collection, but that is a different Miles Morales. This is the one from the Spider-Verse where he's got his hoodie and pants. This one was one I really, really wanted. So, and I know he came in a couple other sets, but this is the one that I was able to find. Now, I'm not too big on the mechs, but I figured, you know what? This might be kind of fun. I'd say let's definitely try it out, right? See what we got. Looks like you got the webbing stuff. You got the whole mech thing. You got Venom there. He's shooting spider webs out of his hands. It looks like a lot of fun. So I figured let's get this one on the table. Let's build it. Let's see what we can come up with. We got our booklet here. I need to go ahead and register that one too, because I'm all about getting my points when I can. Now, granted, I don't get as many points as I normally do whenever I purchase from the Lego store, per se, but points nonetheless. I'm going to take them. Absolutely going to take them. I need to get in the habit of getting some of these on the actual Lego store. I have a feeling that would boost up my points quite a bit, but I also sometimes don't want to pay for their shipping. Especially when I can run down the way and go get it somewhere else. Kind of makes it tough. Makes it tough when you're like, hey, I could technically get this like today down the street, or I could, possibly spend more time and wait on it and hope that it comes in, doesn't get canceled, because that's also been a bit of an ordeal with some people, is that some of their orders here lately have been canceled. But that's usually like pre-orders, things like that, kind of the bigger sets, crazier sets, ones everyone's after, that sort of thing. So I think something like this, I wouldn't be that concerned about it. Now I'm going to go ahead and give them both of the webbings. Boom. 1 and 2. There we go. And of course there's our Miles Morales. Look at that. This was one I really, like I said, I really wanted this. It had the hoodie on it. You got the Spider-Man thing on the back. I like this particular look for Spider-Man quite a bit. It reminds me when I was a kid, there was we had I think 8 or 10 inch Marvel characters that were part of it was like, oh man, it was like the Playmates, I think, was the company that made them. It was it was Spider-Man, Marvel, all of it kind of rolled together. Spectacular Spider-Man, to be exact. And I had one that was Spider-Sense Spidey, and he was black, and his colors were like reversed. He was black with kind of red webbing sort of things, and like blue. It was supposed to be him in a Spider-Sense, which I thought was absolutely the coolest look ever. And he came with, I think, suction cups for his hands. But I also had like Scarlet Spider, and I had a bunch of those figs. I liked them. Mr. Sinister, I thought was really cool. So, I actually went back at one point. I was going to look and see what I could get if those were still available. And there's a part of me that was thinking, if I could get one of those old figures to put on my shelf, what would it be? And I was at a debate between the Scarlet Spider, which was one of my favorites. I know a lot of people didn't like the Clone Wars or the Spider-Man Clone Wars, and they didn't like Ben Reilly, but I really enjoyed that. That was kind of a pinnacle for me of the 90s of reading Spider-Man back in the day, was the alternate universe Spider-Man, the clone of Peter Parker, put into the world and caused so many problems. I did really enjoy that back in the day. Back in the day. I haven't gone to read it any time lately. Honestly, I don't know if it holds up. Maybe I'll look one day and see if I can find it. But I have always enjoyed Spider-Man. Funny enough, I've enjoyed Spider-Man, and when I was a kid, I read it a lot. But these days, I don't think I have any Spider-Man on my shelf. I have a lot of Batman and Superman, and some. I've got Thor. Surprisingly, I've got a big run of Thor, the J. Michael Straczynski run of Thor, which I did enjoy that one quite a bit. But after that, like I don't know. I've got some Miss Marvel from Secret Wars, and I think I've got some stuff from House of M. I've got volumes here and there, but I don't know. I don't. At one point, I started to fall out of the superhero reads quite a bit because it seemed like it was hard for me to keep up with, honestly. And there are times when I go back and I want to read stuff. At this point, it's more like I want to go back and read things from the '90s, things that I grew up with that I enjoyed. And so, honestly, I would technically go back and reread the Spider-Man Clone Wars. All right, so we got our Venom Spider right here. It's going to go right up on top. And then we've got this armor piece that sets up here. I'm going to go ahead and place him in. I want to see how that looks. I guess he has to sit in. So he has to sit in like that. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. It holds him in. Pretty cool. I like the idea of this. Honestly, I was not really like looking forward to the mech sort of thing. I was like, it's kind of out of my wheelhouse. Not something I would definitely really use in my city, but I think I've come around on it. I think I would be willing to put this in my city. I like the design. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the fact that I have a Miles Morales I've been looking for that I was able to get, or maybe it's, I don't know. But I'm so far with this, I seem to be enjoying it, which sometimes is pretty good. However, I say that, and already I'm looking, and I feel like I might be missing something. So we're gonna pull some of these out over here. I'm looking to see if I can find my pieces in part. Should be a gray. I've got a gray piece that looks like it's gray. But there it is. So I do have it. Surprisingly, I have it. And then we've got this cool. So we got this 1x2 step reverse slope, and this cool kind of wedged 1x4. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. They're standard bricks, but they're unique in that we don't get all of these. The color scheme of the black, white, and gray. This is nice. This is very, very nice. All right. Yeah, when I went to the store, I actually saw one of my students at the store. We're all iced in, so every time I go, I'm looking. And I happened to find this is older stock, but I was quite happy. I saw it the other day, and I was like, I won't get it. And I went back and I was like, you know what? I see it. I really, it piqued my interest. I was like, I really, for most of anything, I really want that Miles Morales. I really want that one. That was, I like the look of it. You know, the custom minifig, the Across the Spider Verse set. I went out. I mean, it's hard to find them now. I'm not finding them in my area, but at the time, I got the whole set. I got them all framed up, and then I ended up for certain figures. I went back and I got another set of them because I wanted some to frame up, so I could have like all the first ones I found. Those end up in the frame, and then I would get doubles, and the doubles are the ones kind of that I play with, you know. And I was like, well, I'll get a second set and I'll do this, but I never found another Miles. I was only able to find that one. And so I was like, well, you know, I'll look and see if there's any others, and couldn't find them, and happened to see that, you know, there are other versions of Miles out. And I was like, well, I'd like to get, you know, one of the other versions and see what we can do. But, you know, people were charging, I think, $10-15 just for the figure. And I was like, that's a bit ridiculous, in my opinion. Just a bit ridiculous. And so, you know, to find it in a mech at a store in the open for a decent price. I mean, technically it was for the cost of what people were trying just to sell the figure for online. So I was like, yeah, this is definitely more my speed. I am totally okay with that. Absolutely okay with that. So we're building some mech arms, it looks like. I'm all about the mech arms, and we got these cool dish pieces that are going on top. Create the whole arm thing. Looks pretty cool. Oh, these are, I'm guessing these are legs. So let's see, let's put them on. So leg. Boom. That's pretty cool. And it looks like we're doing it again. We're going to build another one. So a lot of this is kind of, you know, like clip, repeat, rent sort of thing. It's not nothing like too much to write home about. It's pretty fast. But it's still rather satisfying. Just saying. Just saying. So one of the things that we want to take advantage of, I got my wife some blockhead things from Five Below the other day. I was gonna build with her, but she has not wanted to build with me. So I was like, you know what? I want to come in here. Just got this one. I was like, oh, I'd like to put this together. See how it runs. Now I don't know. I think we're done with watching the movie per se in the house. Yeah, I put these backwards. You know, I think we're, you know, we are. We just got done watching the two movies back to back the other day, so I doubt we'd watch it again. But otherwise, man, if I could, I'd totally watch that again. I enjoyed a lot of the movie. Even the second one. First one I thought was pretty good. The second one I enjoyed. I think the thing that killed me was I didn't like how Scarlet Spider, again, one of the characters I really liked, was kind of a bad guy. I was like, really? Come on. But of course, Miguel O'Hara, also Spider-Man 2099, turned out to be a little bit of a bad guy too. And I get it. Granted, they're trying to keep the Spider-Verse together, etc., etc. But I just didn't like the idea that they were all bad. Made me kind of upset, kind of sad. Really? But, and I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, there were certain things I remember. I did enjoy seeing that his uncle turned out to be a bad guy in every single universe. I thought that was interesting that they did that. Very, very interesting that they decided to go that route. But, you know, it was just the way of his character. And I did like how even the like the Miles G Morales I thought was really cool. Like I liked that idea quite a bit. That was pretty awesome. And that whole scene when he shows up to that universe and finds out he's in the wrong universe, and the spider that was for that universe that was meant, I think, for Miles ended up, getting him from a different alternative universe. That whole incident when he faces himself as the Prowler, I thought was super cool. So cool. So cool. Alright, so we got ourselves, it looks like a couple of feet. Shaboom, 1 foot, another foot. And I like how this thing is, their feet are pretty big, so it allows for a thing to stand up on its own. That is actually pretty cool. We didn't have to have that, but we did. And because they made it to where it's fully posable, it works out incredibly well. Alright, so it looks like we've got, this is going right on the bottom here, and this should be fitting right to the back of there. I think we're building probably the was it left arm? Yeah. Alright, so we're flipping this back over this way, and then we've got this white that goes here. We've got one of these, and this might be the hinge. And of course a snot plate that's going back, just like that. Pretty cool stuff. And then we've got this one going here. And then a 1x2 right here on the back end. Boom. And yeah, it looks like we're about to build the rest of this up. So we've got this going. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I did miss something. Right there. We got one of these that's going right here. That's going to be important. When did that happen? It was right there. There was a glare on it when I was looking at it. That's why. So we got that there. Oftentimes it's like one of those, it's like, hey, for the most part, we have like really good stuff, but then get studio lights involved. Sometimes it's hard to see things. And you're checking times and rushing things. It can be annoying. Alright. So this is going to go here, and then we've got our plate that goes right here on the joint. Boom. And then we've got this. This is going to be, I'm loving the way that they're building. Looks like this hand right here. Or no, this is the top of the arm. That's going to the top. These are going to be the hands. That's pretty cool, to be quite honest. We got a biker seat that's going back, fitting up there to create some nice texture there with the arm. Cool looking mech. All in all, we get 4 of these, so we're using this with claws to create some hands. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Not gonna lie. At first, I was like, I'm not really big into the mechs, but not gonna lie. It's like a really big figure that holds a minifig. I would be willing for more. And I know that there's the Shock Trooper and Palpatine Stormtrooper. That's new this year. That was the Mech Trooper. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Let's see, could he grab? Yeah, he could grab him. I gotcha. Carry him around. I dig it. And then we're going to put some of these pieces on there. So we've got this that's going right on the end, and then we've got one of these that's going right out the center, so he's got all the little Venom pieces flowing off of him. Pretty cool. Nice little reference, to be quite honest. Now, no articulation at the elbow. It looks like it should be there, but it's not. It's the same with the knees there. So there's some limits to what we're getting, which is okay. It's okay. Now we're going to be going the opposite side, and we're building the other arm. So we got that there. This is going to go right up here. And yeah, we're going to build out this way. Based on what we're building, I don't think we're going to have too much or too many pieces left over per se. And that's okay. That is okay for me. We got that one goes here. We got this hand. We got this piece right here. And I know that there's a stud in the center, but I'm wondering if it's so we can like actually stud the figure to the hand, or have like, something shoot out of the hand, or even like the webbing come out of the hand. So I'm guessing there is a purpose behind having that snot plate there, which I think is kind of cool. Not something I would have necessarily thought of to begin with, but it's there. Alright, so again, we're building up pretty much the way that we built it to begin with, except this time it is reversed, and just small steps at a time. So another one of these, and another one of these. Boom, boom. And yeah, again, the texture for the arm and the shoulder, beautifully done, beautifully rendered. I like how they're doing that. And the pieces and parts we're getting, they're mechanical in nature, which is cool, but they're also not. They're mechanical in nature, but then they also feel organic and flowy, like the alien goop of Venom with his symbiote. So it feels like it works with what we're doing. It works. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Definitely will find a way to incorporate this into the whole city once it's all said and done. And I'd be willing to find possibly another. I'd have to decide, would I want like another Spider-Man type piece, or would I want, like a Star Wars one? What would I want, Alright, so we're going to fit this onto here now. Excellent. There we go. And it looks like the webbing is going to fit right onto the back. Right back here. Boom. It's going to travel out. Now it shows it being more flowy, but it's really not that flowy. It doesn't twist and turn and do all that like we'd want. It seems like there's supposed to be like a wire in it or something, but I don't see it. I do not see it. Okay. Now we are left with some pieces after we're all said and done. Got another little flowy thing. We got another, they're just like little parts. There's nothing crazy about it, but we're going to go ahead and open this up. We're going to put Venom in. Boom. We'll close that down just like that, and then we'll put, let's see, Miles. We'll give him one spider thing here. We'll give him this right here, and we'll have him up on the shoulder, shooting some webs at him. And then I'm like, get off of me. Yeah, this is fun. I dig it. It's a fun little set. Okay, so yeah, give me a few days to play. See what we like, what we don't like, what works, what doesn't work. But honestly, this is a fun. Satisfying build. Really, only like 20 minutes tops. It's really nothing to it whatsoever. It's a pretty quick, easy build, and I'm okay with that. We don't always have to have everything so complicated and crazy. This is it can be simple and just nonchalant. But I really dig the look of this, and the fact that I got that Miles Morales makes me uber 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 happy. Uber being more than superb, definitely happy. So I like this one quite a bit. All right, hey, I thank you all for showing up for this build. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. You can be notified of anything that comes from me to you. Be sure to comment down below. What's your favorite part of this? What do you like? What are you expecting the review to be like? Do you think it'd be good? Do you think it'd be worthwhile? It's $15. We already get some sort of review aspect, but it's not truly a review yet, just a build. Do you think it was worth it just for that Miles Morales? I'm really digging that one, Miles, quite a bit. But I do thank you. Comment down below. Like this. It helps the algorithm know what you're liking, what I'm making. And yeah, I thank you all for showing up. Hey, I love you all. Jesus loves you more. There's nothing you do about it. Good luck with the build, and happy brick hunting.